Gabe Newell is making some interesting decisions, and I'm here to be the asshole to pick them apart. This is the replay. First up, Microsoft continues to buy other people's stuff, now buying iPhones and iPads in exchange for Microsoft Store credit. People speculate they'll be holding a marshmallow roast featuring the burning corpses of 1 million Apple devices. Joke's on them though. I hear iOS 7 makes your devices fireproof. Next up, China just announced that it's lifting its 13-year console ban in an effort to establish a free trade zone in Shanghai. While this ban was meant to help reduce the slowing down of development in children, consoles have been pretty easy to get a hold of through private retailers. However, it is nice seeing the government ease off on some of these policies. This week, Sony showed off more of its PlayStation 4 UI and its PlayStation app. I don't want to stir up things too much, but it kind of looks like a less colorful version of Microsoft's Metro UI. That's not necessarily a bad thing, since in this application I feel it works well. I'm just kind of surprised that they didn't try and differentiate it more. In this week's what the f*** moment, Sony teams up with Taco Bell for a PlayStation 4 promotion while Microsoft sides with Pizza Hut. I side with Clear Arteries and a lotto ticket. In this week's yes please moment, Star Citizen has reached over $20 million in crowdfunding and climbing, which makes it the largest crowdfunding piece of all time. This goal means they will be adding first-person combat into the mix, and will either be the greatest game of all time or maybe just fall a little short. Until it's proven either way, this game looks fucking awesome! Joe! But no, seriously, it's pretty much face melting. In this week's no shit moment, Nvidia executive Tony Tomasi screams from his diamond-encrusted mountaintop, "Consoles can't match the power of PCs." In other news, my decade-old Ford Focus can't keep up with my neighbor's non-existent F430. Last week, some of you guys suggested that you want to hear more of my opinion than just a couple of sweet one-line puns. Well, this week, thanks to Steam, we have a lot to talk about in this new segment called We Must Go Deeper. 3 things, to be exact, and of course not one of them is actually Half-Life 3, but besides that, we are going to be talking about the Steam Box, the Steam OS, and of course, the alien vibrator otherwise known as the Steam Controller. First up, I'm not a big fan of the fact that we have so many boxes that are available to be Steam boxes. I think that essentially, Mr. Gabe Newell should just be the one making the only Steam box. One box, one operating system, and makes the market much simpler for people to choose, reducing the amount of hardware issues, performance issues, so on and so forth, that ended up being seen in a market kind of like the Android phone. My issue with the operating system is that it doesn't actually make that much sense outside of the Steam box itself, unless you're going to be dual booting or putting it on a PC that you built yourself just for Steam OS. It doesn't really make any sense. My other issue with the operating system is that it's only compatible with OpenGL applications, at least for now, and doesn't work with DirectX. They have a solution for this, and essentially it's kind of like the Nvidia Shield, where you're going to be running your game on your main gaming PC that can actually use DirectX, and streaming the feed over your local area network to your TV through your Steam box or whatever you've built with the Steam operating system, just basically being like an on-live service, or like I said, an Nvidia Shield. It's not a perfect solution, but it's better than nothing, and it actually leads me to the ultimate point that I'll be making at the end of this discussion. Now, let's talk about that controller, or whatever they think that thing actually is. No, easy killer, don't jump on me yet. I know, I haven't had my hands on it, I haven't actually used it in any applications yet, but I see a lot of issues with the controller that I'm a little bit concerned about, and not saying that they can't fix them before it's actually released, but I don't really see this controller taking over the rest of the market for almost any application. My concern is for a couple of reasons. One, I am concerned about how it's going to control when you end up kind of rolling your thumb across it. Think about how you're using a mouse pad on a laptop. If you use the tip of your finger and then roll your finger down, the cursor tends to move with that motion. Now, unless they have a way of minimizing that, which I think I've read they might have some sort of solution to it, that's actually one of my major control issues that I have with that actual controller. My other major issue with the controller is once again with those thumb pads. They're trying to get it to be like the buttons as well, in that they're your A, B, X, Y. Without any tactile feedback, which with this current iteration there doesn't seem to be a heck of a lot of, that might be a little bit confusing for people to start, although I'm sure they can adjust in some way. Yes, I seem awfully negative about all three of the announcements, and to be honest with you, I tend to be relatively negative about most announcements, because I want to see if they can actually prove me wrong. In this case, Mr. Gabe Newell has to provide a much better business proposition or value proposition for me as a consumer. Right now, I look at it and I just see it muddling up my current setup. If I want to play PC games with a controller, I already have the ability to do that. If I want to do it in the living room, I already have the ability to do that. Also, it's called moving my PC. Is it easy? No. Is it doable? Yes. And will it save me the money of buying another box? You betcha. So what's my solution? I'm sure all of you are saying, well, if you're going to be negative about it, at least give some sort of option. And do I have one? Yes I do. Is it that great? Maybe not, but it might actually be better than what they're proposing. At least it will make more sense in the eyes of a lot of consumers. With smart TVs already being hooked up to the home network through either hardline or wireless, it's not a huge stretch to imagine that with a Steam application, you could do essentially what they're trying to accomplish with the Steam box for DirectX games, and that is live streaming your content from your gaming PC straight to your TV. I think companies like Samsung, LG, and Sony, etc., with all the smart TVs on the market, would love to see something like this. There's no reason why they wouldn't want to have it as part of their applications. Of course, ultimately, I hope that Mr. Gabe Newell proves me wrong in every possible aspect, because at the end of the day, if I can do all of my gaming on a couch in front of a big TV with a controller in my hand, I'm not going to be one to complain. And that's going to be it for this week's replay, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any other news that I haven't covered this week that you'd like to talk about, leave me a comment in the section below and I'll try and respond to you if possible. But until next time, this has been NovaWar coming to you from the fine locale of Canuckville, Canada. Stay safe, have a good one, and as always, good luck. Have Batman.